What the fuck?
Ooh la la, ah wee wee. Ooh la la. What's going on, everybody? We are live here on the DSC show, and for today we are talking about Miles Morales. I can't roll my tongue. Please, just deal with it, okay? Just understand. This is coming out of not only self-hate, because that's probably what's going to be said over to the comments because I'm a minority. So immediately that means my opinion is already going to be put invalid because my opinion of me not liking a character all because he's the same ethnicity as me means that I'm just a self-hating coon that doesn't want representation in comics. You know what actually makes good representation in comics? Making your own fucking character in comics. How don't think about that? We gotta try to copy and paste and just post it with another ethnicity, and now I hear that Thor is black, and it's Miles in a what-if story, where he's saying it's Hammer Time, reference to you can't touch this, and he's with fucking graffiti, because the only way to make Miles interesting is try to put it with other superheroes that are already popular. Why? Prowler, Kingpin, I liked Into the Spider-Verse. Don't get me wrong, I liked that movie, but guess what? You know what made the movie good? It wasn't fucking Miles. Just one song of him jumping off the building. That's the most Miles does to develop his characters. And most of the other shit he was doing, most of his powers, his Venom powers, his dumbass electricity Venom, Spider-Woman was already doing that. We tokenize a character. If Miles was some other nigga in another superhero movie, nobody would give a shit like we do about the Falcon. Until he was Captain America. There wouldn't be a Falcon show without him with the moniker Captain America. Deadass, would you watch a Falcon movie? Would you watch a Falcon movie or show? Tell me not. Tell me. And the source of you guys using that representation argument, even with the black heroes, you guys know, all you know is Blade. There's many other vampire hunters in mass media. With Wesley Snipes. We just got a regular little nigga as Spider-Man, and we just plaster him over to the wall, all because he's there. And guess what? Kids are still asking more about Tom Holland, Tobey Maguire, and Andrew Garfield. Peter Parker is more recognizable than Miles Morales. No one gives a shit about representation when it doesn't correlate with when you have no character about it. It just dawns on me that we just say that just the urban personality of Miles Morales is amazing, just coming from the hood. We're gonna call that Asgard, and using his Glock. I mean his Mjolnir, but he's gonna graffiti it, and then he's gonna say it's Hammer Time. Because Negroes love that shit. Marvel. And it came over from the author legitimately apologizing because how shit his ideas was. I just think they need to scrap Miles. Just an unoriginal character. What? He faces Spider-Man villains. Not his own original villains. At least Batman, sure, you saw Joker, you saw an old Batman Beyond, had a different hero, different backstory, different way of life. Still correlated over with Bruce Wayne, but had his own personality and way of going of things. And he was getting mentored off Bruce Wayne at the same time because of how inexperienced he was. Over the time Miles came in, Peter Parker was already dead. In the original comic where he came in the Ultimate Comics. And this is the nerd section over for the DSG show, if anybody knows about that, because people know who Spider-Man is. And whenever you bring up Spider-Man, nobody in their mother even the black kids don't bring up Miles Morales. You see a black nerd that just shoves over representation and the lack of it. No, it's because you don't even support the actual black heroes that Marvel and DC already have. You're a hypocrite. The comic book community is a bunch of hypocrites, and Marvel's full of unoriginal bitches that can't make an original minority character to save their lives of already Mrs. Marvel that was white to begin with. Captain America, that's now black, that's Falcon, and of course Rhodey, that is just a black Iron Man Spider-Man is Miles Morales, just a random black kid that somehow got bitten by, in Osborn's laboratories over the spider. Faces Spider-Man villains and doesn't even go over his own character arc. What's the character of Miles Morales? He's mixed. He has a nice supportive mom. I wouldn't even mind if they give him like a black stereotypical history where he didn't even have to rely on family and he just had to rely on his own superior skill, and he was more inclined with like bad bad influences like his Uncle Prowler that's already a villain in the Spider-Man universe. That's original. So yeah, I don't give a shit about Miles Morales. Y'all can call me any type of random slur that you probably Google out to begin with because you have no expansion of your vocab. Any of you guys say that you guys are Miles Morales fans, never even read his dumbass comic books to begin with because no one originally cares about whatever Miles does except for Gwen Stacy with sexualizing her even though she's still a teenager. I know most of you guys that watch Into the Spider-Verse cared about Down on His Luck Peter, the blonde Peter Parker, the weeaboo Peter Parker, Spider-Man Noir. That was my favorite character out of the Into the Spider-Verse movie. So, because they actually had inclined backstories, established character traits, and actually have enduring personalities that make me want to learn. Who doesn't want to hear about a Spider-Man noir over just Spider-Man, but he's black and Latino? That's it. But I just put up something about a subplot about his loved one dying, like his uncle, even though he betrayed him, and that just turns him into the better Spider-Man. Oh, and he got the electricity, so he's just a more advanced Peter Parker. Like, and nobody even brings up Spider-Man 2077 or no, not 2070. I keep thinking about Cyberpunk 2099, and the guy literally has more Spider-like abilities than the original Peter Parker out of a futuristic universe. Literally Marvel's Batman Beyond, and nobody wants to talk about it. They want to talk about the minority Peter Parker that came from the hood and now is holding Mjolnir in a what-if story that already no people give a shit about. It's disgusting. It's boring, and I don't give a shit. Screw Marvel. Screw the author. Screw what if series. And screw Miles Morales. I'm just doled out. I'm just dulled, and I don't, and I'm trying to like understand like, this is not gonna get any buzz. People are still going to care about that Thor. People are still going to talk about the new Thor movie, Love and Thunder, than the what if Black Spider-Man turned into Black Thor. Nice. That's interesting. And I saw a bit of the What If series. They had, what if Doctor Strange turned evil and tried to bring his lost love back to life, getting more powerful, or the Avengers fighting zombies, or Ultron getting the Infinity Gauntlet. No, Miles is black, and he's Thor now. How original. Oh, but it's hammer time. Yeah, I'm gonna shock your system. Huh? That's just embarrassing. And this is coming out of a Spider-Man fan since I could barely walk. I saw reruns of the OG late 90s Spider-Man show, Spectacular Spider-Man, Ultimate Spider-Man. I've watched any bullshit series that came out, and the Maguire films, Garfield films, and the Holland film. You guys can get in the conversation. Sure, not that much of a buff into the comics. But anybody can tell me the character growth of Peter Parker, the relationships Peter Parker has grew with both the side characters and the major antagonists, and how he's grew over being a timid nerd and needing the personality to change off the mask, to taking off the mask and growing to a kid to a man. That's Peter Parker. And you can see that over the Tom Holland films. You don't see that whenever you see Miles Morales. They just see a tokenizing Negro that they can just plaster over to get the minorities to read their comic books more and watch their dumb movies. Not because they actually care about making a new black character for people to actually care about. And that just insults me the most. Because I just don't care. Even you don't see people talk on the streets be like, why doesn't Ironheart get a movie? Because they don't care about that. They just care to see when is the Iron Man actor going to come back? When is Iron Man going to come back in the MCU? They don't care about Ironheart. They don't care about minorities. They care about these characters that they grow, they see, and they see develop, and they go off and do awesome things. Get out of your high horse. Stop thinking like race still matters, because you guys are putting that over to the narrative and ruining comic books. That's why comic books are dying in this medium, and people are talking more about Attack on Titan and My Hero Academia. I'm seeing more Japanese manga than in conversations than I'm actually hearing about actual American comics. People tell me, whenever I get a conversation with fucking white guys or something, they tell me what happened in the next Jujutsu Kaisen chapter. They don't tell me what happened in the recent Spider-Man chapters or whatever millennial gay, gender fluid, supreme Teen Titans comic. It's stupid. It insults my intelligence. It makes me feel like you always need to try to correlate with a certain niche to get your story across instead of actually making a story. That's it coming from the DST show. Shout out to Young Ripper. I'll try to put a link in the description. Subscribe to his channel. Putting this to pass, and he's made plenty of how Marvel and plenty from the comic book industry has been trying to profit over tokenizing minorities instead of making actually interesting characters and making interesting stories to actually, widen out the process of the comic books and how it's not getting as successful as how Japanese manga has been profiting over the past 30 years. Thanks for watching. That's it from the DST show. Subscribe for more and watch some of my older videos. And I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day.